Well, that was too bad for one hive. We know the hive made it through winter because a few weeks ago we'd go out there and we could see them coming in and out of the hive. So we don't know if they just swarmed and left or died later on or what. We don't know. So I'm headed out to check some of our hives right now. I'm going to check at least 2, possibly 3. And what I need to do is I need to rotate the boxes. You'll take the top box from the hive, put it on the bottom, and then the bottom one goes on the top. So we'll see if those 3 hives have made it. Right now my wife is bottling honey that she's going to be putting out for sale. Maybe we'll try and talk her into doing a little interview or something here in a minute when she's got her little stand going. And it's funny because we're on a pretty busy road, well, busy road considering where we live, and she puts out a little card table, hangs up a couple of little poster board signs saying raw honey, and people stop. So we'll see what happens with that, but let's get out here and check at least 2, if not 3. All right, just opened up the gate. Got some people out. Sounds like they're shooting shotguns out to the north of us. Right now we're in our alfalfa field. It's coming in really good so far. We harrowed it 2 weeks ago or so, just before we had a week of rainstorm. So I think we're going to be okay right now. And we're hoping, in fact, maybe today I'll try and get the tractor, scoop up some of these old hay bales that aren't doing anything and line the ditch with them, open them up, try and get them to dry so we can burn them. We've got a lot of hay bales that the wind blew our tarp off of several times in the fall and made it so that the hay bales are ruined. We probably lost, I don't know, $2,000, $2,500, maybe $3,000 worth of hay due to the weather and wind. Wind was real bad this year. So, but if you haven't taken an interest in bees, or at least thought about doing a beehive, maybe you should research it. They're really cool. And I know that sounds stupid, because when my wife approached me about, hey, I think we should do beehives, I thought that was pretty stupid, I have to admit. But then I started researching them, looking into them, learning about them, and the things that the bees do and how they run their colony is so cool. It's just really neat. So most of the time you can get into a single beehive for about, I don't know, $350, $400 or so, and just start learning about them. Sometimes you get honey the first year, sometimes you don't. In our case we actually got, I don't know, I want to say 150 pounds of honey our first year, which was pretty cool. And then you go and extract it, and that's kind of how the Charlie Bee Farms honey side came to be. Bee humor. But I think if your ordinance or your city that you're living in allows you to have bees, it doesn't take a lot of maintenance on them. You check them maybe 3 times during the summer just to make sure that they're growing, that the numbers are in there, that you can find the queen, and that's not a requirement. As long as you pull out some of the frames and you can see brood or larvae in there, you know your queen's still inside. So helps the rest of the world, helps pollination, helps all your fruits, your gardens, things like that. So I mean, if you've got a spot where you can keep bees in your city or county, or whatever ordinances that you're living in can let you have them, I think everybody should have a hive or 2. So I just pulled up. I'm gonna jump out. I'm gonna set the camera up here on a little tripod to make it a little easier, since I'm the only one that's out here right now. And we'll see what we can find inside of these 2 hives. One hive I know didn't make it. We knew it wasn't going to going into the fall, but we left it out here. And but 2 of them a few weeks ago, they were still doing strong. We had bees coming in and out, so let's jump in and see what we can find. Okay, here we are at one of the hives. I don't know how well you can see that, but it is going very well right now. We get a lot of activity coming in and out. I can see a lot of pollen going in. What we do in the winter is I will stack up hay bales in front of the hives to give them kind of a windbreak. That hive over there is the one that we knew was going to die. It just didn't have the numbers going into fall, so we knew it wasn't going to make it. This one was alive, but I'm not seeing anything coming in and out, so we're going to definitely jump inside of this hive to see if there's any activity, if there's anything going on the inside. But from looking at it, I don't think there is. So I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to move these hay bales out of the way of the one we're going to get into, and let's see what we've got going on. And one thing you'll notice is most of the time, talk to you as I'm getting my gloves on, most of the time I will try not to smoke the bees. Some people, they'll smoke their bees every time they're going to get into the hive. Last year we had 2 hives that were really mean, and those ones I smoked. But for the most part, if I don't have to, I'm not going to. I don't think it's beneficial to the bees as a whole, unless they're mean. Oh, been sitting here all winter long, and they're just heavy as can be. All right, so got a lot of activity, lots of pollen coming in and out. All right, this is what we like to see in the top box of a beehive, especially this early in the season. Now, if you can see this yellow stuff along the edge here, this yellowish gold, a lot of people think that's honeycomb. It's actually called propolis, and it's something that the bees create to seal up their home. They seal it up so the weather, wind, rain, stuff like that can't get inside of it. So it's just something that they do. I've heard and I've seen articles that people will roll it up into a ball and eat it, and I've heard it's good for your body. I can't remember exactly what because I don't eat it. Don't chew it because it will stain your teeth, all right? In fact, this bee right here with the big eyes, that is a boy bee. It's called a drone. All right. Now, a lot of the women out there that might watch this will get a kick out of this because the drone's sole purpose in life is to eat and mate. It's kind of like what a lot of the ladies out there think guys do, is we come home from work, we eat the food, we sit on the couch, we mate with our wives or hunklebuck or whatever it is you want to call it, and that is the sole purpose of the drone bees. After they've done their mating, the worker bees that are all female will go and kill the drones and drag them out and get rid of them. Okay, I know a lot of the women out there are probably thinking, why can't it be that easy for the rest of us? But look at all that pollen coming in, all that orange stuff. And it might be from the pollen that we dropped down there, or it might be pollen that they're bringing in from somewhere, but that is a lot of pollen going inside there. This is a real good sight to see. I'm really happy to see this many bees in the top box. I'm going to try and pull off the boxes depending on how much honey is in there, because it's not uncommon for these boxes to weigh 60-70 pounds when they are completely full of honey. So I'm going to see if I can't pull it apart. I'm probably going to put the camera up on that other beehive so you'll have a limb that's in the way. But let's get into it and see if we can't figure out how much is in. Now, I didn't bring a hive tool. There's a specific tool that we have that is made to pry apart the boxes and also help get the frames out if you can't. Because like I said, the propolis that the bees make, it's on everything, and that's what makes everything stick together. And I didn't bring that tool out here. I probably should have, but I'm using my pocket knife instead. Try not to use your pocket knife because you get propolis all over it and it's a pain to try and get off. But I'm using what I've got right now. See if I can't pull it apart now. These are awesome bees, just with as mellow as they are, it's great. The other hive we'll try and get into, I did not like them at all last year because they were mean. And yes, you can tell a difference between a nice hive and a mean hive. The mean hive, about as soon as I got near them, they would actually start attacking my face and coming and bopping into the face mask. I'm thinking I probably should have brought the hive tool out here. Alright, what I've got going on is a lot of the frames are actually, the frames in the bottom box are stuck to the top box. So I've got to try and pry them apart. So I'm not lifting up nearly as much. And you've got to be real careful in hopes that you don't squash your queen. Alright, I think I've got it. Yep. Oh, this is gorgeous. I feel bad, I just killed a bunch of baby bees, trying to pull them apart. And let me show you what they are. Some of them were getting pretty close to being hatched, like those ones right there. You can see the eyes, those ones were pretty close. That one right there. But here is the larva. Okay, little worms. And all these bees, their whole job is to take care of these. Oh, that one was probably going to hatch tomorrow. That one is on its way out. It might make it, I'm hoping. So this hive is rocking. I'm going to take, and I need to go get the hive tool because I've got to scrape all this comb off the top of here so that it doesn't stick onto that box again. But we'll see if I can't do that. Okay. Okay, so this is the hive tool. We've got a couple of them, got dirt on it and stuff. But all it is a wedge that you use to stick in here to scrape and get off everything that you need. So I'm going to take, and you can see that the bees now, this one right here, well, if it'll do it again, they do this thing called the waggle dance. And what that is they are signaling that they found some new pollen or a new patch of flowers or something like that. They're just signaling to the rest of the bees, hey, I found some, come check it out, type of thing. So how scientists figure that out, I have no idea, but that's what they tell us. So I'm gonna start scraping this off as easy as I can. I hate doing this because I know inevitably I'm going to kill more bees, and I try not to. So, but what I'll do is I'll scrape it off, and then when I'm done scraping, I just kind of put everything on the ground so that the bees can come and try and get the comb to reuse it or whatever it is that they can do. I try not to disturb them unless I absolutely have to. And this is the first time this year that I've been into this hive. But you can see all this honeycomb that we're getting off, which is good because you don't want them to stick together especially when it comes time to try and get the honey out. And you're trying to lift two frames that are stuck together and both of them are absolutely jam-packed with honey. It makes it very, very difficult. So, all right, I'm going to shut the camera off so I can finish this real quick, and we'll be back to you here in just a second.